Hi, this is the video on manual space combat. You can test your ships that you design with skirmish mode, just going into like class choosing and then choosing to import save file. When you import the save file, it imports both your ships from the save and also the alien ships, so you can actually use them and test your current efficiency against what the aliens have. Aliens can change the design from campaign to campaign, and they generally follow the same designs most of the time, so it's not a big deal actually. Takes a lot of time to load. So now that we are loaded, we have our three ships: Defiant, Audacious, and Daring. Wow, those names are good. And we have the place where the enemy ships gonna appear once we start the fight. So the first one is choosing your formation. You can choose the distance between your ships, the actual formation, as we are in a 3D space, so you can place your ships however you want, and also placement for special ships. So the game actually recognizes some types of ships based on their stats, and you can place them in specific spaces. It won't show anything as we have only monitors in here, and they are basically the same model. In this case, I'm gonna use the tight staggered formation because in this case they will all support each other with their point defense. I almost forgot, you can actually choose your initial velocity. So you could actually go even backwards, essentially, if you're 0 meters per second, or you can go all the way and then be very, very fast from the beginning. I'm going to go with like 300-ish. So let's start the battle. However, in the battle, we see the formation of the enemy ships: Starfall, Shirakumo, and Mistral. So how do you actually navigate? First, you see those arrows, and this is basically the points where your ship will be at a certain period of time. You can move it with the left mouse button in a sort of a initial plane in which you are positioned. You can rotate those arrows with Z. Oh, hold up. In order to perform a maneuver, you use Delta V, and it actually shows on the line itself. So the red part is where the burning for a particular maneuver happens. So, for example, if I am accelerating all the way to this position, this means that I can't rotate anymore because all the way that the ship goes, the ship is accelerating. So if I want to roll it, I need to give it some delta V for that, and then I could roll. To rotate, you use Z, X, and C, and it's just the rotation. To actually move up or down, you use Q, and Q allows you to move up and down, and the normal left mouse button allows you to go right and left. On the ship, you have a lot of options, mostly for the weapon behavior. Also, the disengage button that allows you to flee the battlefield, the AI control if you don't want to bother with actually commanding the ships. Okay, this is me from the future, and the AI button is useful even if you're trying to manually space combat, because it allows you to not lose track of small stuff that is going on onto the battlefield. You will see that in a minute. And the primary target set. The special maneuver panel is a little button that actually allows you to do all the rolling and yawing with actual buttons, and there's an all stop button that actually makes you just perform a maneuver to fully stop relative to the general space of the orbit. You can also use a padlock. Well, padlock will lock you onto an enemy ship that you set as a target. The padlock is basically an option to always look at the enemy no matter what. So you can't actually move while you're padlocking. For example, if I try to make a target on Shirakumo and unpause the battle, what it will do is essentially correct itself to look at the targeted ship all the time. Now, I don't want to do anything much because most of the time you don't need to maneuver a lot. Most of the time you could just target their ships and padlock them. This is one, if not the easiest tactic to use in a fight, because you don't want them to shoot you in the back or sides, because they are not very much armored and your front is armored most of the time with a lot of points of armor, so you want their stuff to hit you in the front if you cannot avoid being hit. One thing that allows you to not be hit is point defense, which I'll demonstrate right away. I just want it to be more fast-paced, so I'm gonna just accelerate towards the enemy and unpause and actually increase the speed of things going. So now we're exchanging fire, and as you can see, they're shooting with lasers at us and we're standing. Nose structural integrity is 100%, and nose armor integrity is decreasing because they are shooting at us. I want to padlock each ship. I'm just gonna target them and set to a padlock. And as you can see, the course automatically changes to reflect the anticipated movement of the aliens. So padlock can be very dangerous if the aliens move too much, and they move a lot because they have a lot of delta V and they have a lot of G's to perform such maneuvers. We are currently using Plasma Battery Mark III. This is a good all-round ship, and we'll just look how the ships are gonna perform if they're using just padlock. And they're starting firing. There are the kinetic stuff. Those ships have PD, so they can just shoot them, but some will get through, and as you can see, if you're not maneuvering manually, some things can actually get through the point defense, or never mind. They're just getting through like a millimeter around the ship, and then they're just shot down. Plasma, on the other hand, they're fast, and we see that with plasma shooting on their side, we damage the ship, and now they cannot, or they can, but they're maneuvering like very, very slow, and we're hitting them on the side. This is very good because basically it is what you want in battle, to disable the enemy ships, and then just I'm gonna do a full stop and then chase them so that we could shoot at them with our plasma batteries. Basically, this fight is already predetermined because we just damage the enemy too much. They can't change their course, or they just want to flee, and I want to chase them down. So I just gonna accelerate towards them in their general direction and just continue to shoot them down. The question is, could we actually shoot them down? Do we have enough Delta V? Yes, we have, because it's basically a late game ship. It's a total war ship. And it allows you to do crazy stuff, basically moving like the aliens. The mechanics of disengaging is essentially, if you get the distance needed for disengaging, you will disappear from the map. So if you want to destroy enemy ships and not let them exit the battle, you need to chase them down so that the distance between your ships doesn't change drastically. So I'm gonna change my course in 3D to go slightly up. Always check your trajectories, because this is way too much directed upwards. I don't want it to go up that much, so I corrected with that, and also go like that. Basically, it's a general direction. Once you get a hang of it, it will be very easy to actually point your ships at the enemy and maneuver like that. You just need to pause sometimes to just assess the situation. As you can see, the enemy ships have grayed out paths. So this means that they cannot maneuver at all. Basically, we're just gonna accelerate towards them and shoot them down eventually. The chase can last for like a minute, but it's worth it because in the end you will receive the alien materials. I'm actually gonna go down with this ship because we're way far away. Oh, and I also didn't set my target. Never mind. It just shot down the alien ship. Nice. Is the distance enough for... I think it is. I think it is. It will actually start to shoot this ship. Yes. And the Starfall will not last long. Again, plasma is very powerful. It delivers good damage per second, having mediocre damage per shot, but per second, and actually there was quite a lot of damage, and it's also unaffected by point defense, so it is a very good thing. Navigating is sometimes difficult, especially if you're not in the right angle to actually understand what you're doing. You can lose a lot of actual delta V just by doing your maneuvering poorly. Like that. This is just a misclick. In these cases, you can use the automate button because the enemy is not shooting at you, the enemy is not moving, and the AI generally knows how to avoid actual ramming. Now I hope that the ship will get it. And I actually will put daring annotations at full stop. You don't need to do that in the actual game, it's just so that they don't get away too much while the AI controlled ship shoots at the alien destroyer. We're delivering quite a lot of damage actually, but still not enough to actually destroy the ship. What are you doing? Why are you maneuvering like that? Is just going into like a spiral trajectory around the guy while it could just kind of decelerate? I don't know. Sometimes it's just too much for me to understand how the AI wants to move. Oh, okay, never mind. You can't. It's going too fast. Yeah. And the third ship is gone. Thank you very much. Almost a minute and a half because I couldn't maneuver them by myself. And also, one of them got away somehow. This is why you always need to look at how your ships are going and control them manually, because otherwise you can get some stuff to happen. Like this was an easy kill, and it got away because I didn't control the ships and I didn't set it on the AI. So it just got too far away and disappeared and disengaged. And that's the video for manual space combat. Thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna do some other guides on Terra invicta, so stay tuned.